We got Elden Ring. We still got. I think it's a week. 29th. 8 days. 8 days. 8 days. Come on, 8 days. 29th to the 30th. Talking about how the combat designer aimed to speed up the action, because the combat is different from Elden Ring to Elden Ring Nightreign. So, see how different it is, and we get like more. I think UI. Cause I really didn't watch too much. Well, I watched it, but I didn't really watch it on like a monitor. So yeah, loud as bollocks. I swear you have Lacey in every stream. I might actually.
You just
No cap.
describe what it's like working at From Software and getting to work on such highly acclaimed titles like Elden
Yeah.
Ring and the upcoming Nightreign.
そうですね。まず自
Oh, I
分
gotta
自身
read?
が
I myself have previously
I gotta listen.
a huge Souls fan.
Just
I'm
like
a
him.
big fan of these games and what the company's made. So it's a huge honor to get to work on.
I might turn some
titles.
subs on. I'm not gonna lie to you.
As well as the fun of creating these games, I do feel a little bit of pressure and responsibility from the fans who enjoy
What was
creating
that?
these games. I
The
do feel
Royal Revenant. Wait, no, that's it.
a huge honor to get to work on such titles.
Oh, that's the thing at the beginning. No, that's not a Scion. We've seen these before. That's the one in like the Lucia forest or whatnot. You know that forest where you gotta fight, where you gotta run behind the dragon and get the keys. It's in that one. But like it's somewhere in like a church in some water, and all he do is teleport, and he be like, that's what he do essentially. That's what he do. I remember him.
As well as the fun of
I keep
creating these
forgetting this
games,
should
I
be
do feel a little
all.
bit of
This
pressure
should
and
be all
responsibility, from the
base
fans who enjoy these
game.
games as well.
It shouldn't be any
Going
DLC in
into
it yet,
Nightreign,
at
there's
least.
a lot of really subtle differences between the combat mechanics of.
I think they sped up
Elden Ring
certain
and
attacks.
Nightreign. Can you talk a little bit about why you felt like you should change up some of those mechanics for a multiplayer game like Nightreign, and how the resulting gameplay fits Nightreign's fast-paced multiplayer style a little bit better?
そうですね。まあちょっとその回答させていただく前
I
に
got you.
少しそのナイトレインの説明。
So, the changes for the design of Nightreign. Well, first, let Miyazawa-san give a little introduction to the general design of Nightreign itself. As you know, it uses Elden Ring as a base for the design. So the world and a lot of the assets and the base combat flow comes from Elden Ring. But while it does use it as a base for enemies and such, this is one area that we wanted to focus on Nightreign was how we encounter these enemies and the flow of the
Yeah,
battle
this is,
and
I
the abilities
think,
of
a
the
Dark
enemies.
Souls 1 boss.
And
I don't know,
having
I've
Elden
never
Ring
played
as a
Dark
base allowed us
Souls.
to branch out and experiment.
Hey, if they make, like, remakes, maybe one day, if they make remakes, I'll play it all. Who knows? I don't know. We can. You feel me? Like, if niggas get big enough and niggas want to watch that, we could do a Dark Souls marathon. But I feel like that would at least minimum take, like, maybe a week. I don't know. I don't play Dark Souls games. Like, Elden Ring was, like, I feel like the first one, I played, like, maybe an hour of Bloodborne when it first came out on, like, PlayStation Plus. But, like, you feel me? I think I've watched Jacksepticeye completed, like, twice, though.
In these other areas and make it into something that stood out from Elden Ring and became its new thing. While
Oh, he got a
the
mark on
base
him.
is,
There you go. That's
sits
cool.
with
I
Elden
think it
Ring
does
at its
extra
core,
damage.
We wanted to create a gameplay experience with
Guardian
that was
Golem.
very different. Elden Ring is a much more slow.
I'm looking at the U. That's what I'm saying, the UI. So I'll probably have to put face cam, like, somewhere right here. Either right there or, like, below here. But I feel like, I don't know. We'll see. It has to go on one side.
Paced, a lot more sort of open-ended. You take your time and carefully go through the world. But Nightreign is what we're calling a short RPG. So
A short RPG?
There are some constraints here. For example,
Why do you call it? Well, I don't think I've ever seen anyone word a roguelike as a short RPG. But that probably is the easiest way to actually explain it. So I might have to steal that. I might have to put that in my repertoire for sure. A short RPG.
the 3-day, 3-night
Let me put that in the
time
word bank.
the
memory
limitations
bank.
on the player. But at the same time as putting these limitations on the player in terms of structure, we wanted to allow them some freedom points that they didn't otherwise have with Elden Ring. So the way they traverse the map, they can sprint, they can climber up walls quickly. There's no fall damage. compared
Yeah,
to Elden Ring.
I like the
So we
fast
put
the
these
fast
constraints on the
run
players
and
from
then no
a
fall
structural
damage.
point
I
of
love
view.
that
We wanted
actually.
to open
It's
up
good quality
and
of
allow
life.
freedom from a gameplay point of view as well. So it was about creating that balance and that contrast. In terms of status leveling and how the how the players build their character. With Elden Ring, of course, you had a character creation and building from the very start.
I mean, yeah, like I like the RPG, which it makes sense. It's a short RPG, so roguelike. You don't need in-depth like level up point aspects like any other one I could think about. Like what's the other roguelike I play? Risk of Rain. It has a base like level up mechanic, which I don't. This one has a hard stop. Like 15 is the max level. In Risk of Rain, there is no max level for your character, but every level you get like a certain percentage or something of base HP or whatever. Every level. So like you don't have to think about what stats. You just know what stats upgrade.
But with Nightreign, you select from
I like
a
that.
preset character as a sort of archetype.
I still don't
to
think they're
start
gonna
with,
show those
and
other
then
2
you're
or 3
free to
characters
change your weapons, change your equipment.
because I was listening to some dude. It looked like an Ouroboros. It looked like an Ouroboros tattoo, and he said there was some enemy they were encountering, and they literally like the press conference. They were told they couldn't record it, and 2 they couldn't even fight it, so they had to turn around and not fight it. So it looks like there's secrets and there's things in the game that they still don't want like to be shown until the game's released, which is cool because you know the way games are now, they leak like a week in advance, and then like you know the whole game. But then again, this is an online game, even though you can play it single player offline. Online game only, you can't kind of leak the game like that because if the servers aren't on, no one can play them.
Change your playstyle a little bit on the fly.
Duke,
so while
Deers,
you can start as a
Freya.
tank, you don't necessarily have to.
Is that a
fulfill
new? Is that
tank
spider a
role,
new boss? I
from
think
day
so. I
one.
don't remember if it's a
We wanted
remembrance.
players to enjoy the role play of each character, more from their sort of character traits and their abilities than a sort of preconceived notion, a sort of approach. And we also wanted to reduce the amount of time players spend in the menu, actually, within the game. So instead of carefully checking their stats and going through the leveling process, it's a lot more on the fly, it's a lot more ad hoc. And we
I
wanted
like
to
that.
reduce and
But then again, my question is, because I haven't watched gameplay in a minute, so I'll probably just have to figure it out like as I play. Is when you get to like the end of the level, kind of like I don't know. Risk of Rain and Nuclear Throne's like my 2 like biggest hour deep dives in roguelikes. Maybe like a third close would probably be like Rogue Legacy 1 and 2. But like I know there's normally a time mechanic. I know they have the enclosing circle that stops that from you exploring all the game. But like does it close all the way like on Fortnite, or does it get like a certain diameter and it just stops? And then once you defeat the boss, can you? Because I literally don't remember. And if so, is there even anything to do after that? Like probably not. I think you get to change like the boss loot, which makes sense because I know in Risk of Rain, but there's a time mechanic which will let you explore why. So that makes sense.
condense these
I'm just
elements
curious to
that we
see.
found in our previous games.
I like
but
the
in a
menu though.
tighter, more compact
It is
experience,
pretty
this short
simplistic
form
compared
RPG
to
experience,
Elden
for Nightreign.
Rings.
So those are just a few of the aspects that we've tried to consider when approaching this from a multiplayer co-op standpoint.
The boss that we got to check out today, as we were
Libra?
playing,
Yeah,
was
Libra
the
looks
Furious
pretty
Beast.
cool.
What
Like
sticks out
the
to you
the bipedal goat.
about that boss fight
with all the
in comparison
eyes.
to the other Night Lord battles.
I think he has
まあナイトレインは
madness,
ですね
not blight.
結構ボスの個性
So for this particular boss battle, obviously for each boss battle in the game, we're trying to give them their own idiosyncrasies and their own unique touches to make them stand apart and feel original. And we wanted each of them to feel like their own experience. So with Libra in particular, we kind of added this trade-off feature that takes place before the battle. And of course, this can allow the players to acquire a new special weapon or a significant level up or something that benefits them. But of course, being the nature of Libra and the nature of the game, it's not always going to be exactly in their favor. So we wanted to create this interesting risk-reward sort of feature.
See, like they didn't explain it right there. What he gives you're making a deal with like the devil essentially, or like the enemy. So like what curse do you get for getting that extra item? Because there's no way Elden Ring, Nightreign is not gonna have that mechanic where it's like a cursed item where you get it and then it doesn't have any drawbacks. So what drawback do you have for making a deal with Libra before you fight him?
For this particular boss.
That's what I'm
まあそうい
curious
ったような
about.
戦闘前のですね駆け引きみたいなところも
As for the actual experience during
Mhm.
combat itself, we wanted this sort of nature of Libra to be reflected in the gameplay as well. So this sort of duality aspect of the character, both in terms of its appearance and its behavior. So we wanted to give it a sort of a two-type moveset. So
Two
first
type?
there's the sorceries and traps that can kind of confuse and trick the player, and then also the sort of more power and damage-focused attacks that come as well. So we wanted this this duality to reflect both in its appearance and the pre-battle and the gameplay experience as well.
Shifting gears to classes, what goes into designing a character class for Nightreign? Are you looking to fill specific archetypes? Do you come up with a cool idea for a skill and then design a class based around that? Or what does that process really look like?
Mm-hmm.
そうですねこれはちょっとあまり面白い話
Oh, wait,
じゃない
I'm-
かもしれないんですけども
It's
結構まあ
quite an orthodox approach we took to character design in Nightreign, similar to what we started with in Elden Ring. So, for instance, we start with these kind of general roles or role titles for each of the characters, such as the tank we mentioned earlier, or a mage type. So we start with these very general and loose kind of bases for the character archetype, and then from the
Okay.
director we get an idea of the characters and their sort of individuality and the sorts of abilities that they're going to use and things like this.
その上でですね、まあスキルやアーツなどの、
Just to give one example of that, you might have used her in the network test or in your play session, the Recluse. Her archetype actually started as a mage, a magic
Oh.
user.
Oh,
But from there,
bro! Apparently, there's a mage, like not a mage, a summoner class. I don't even know how that works, but like, is it on some Jinwoo Arise? You feel me? Or is it not? I just don't know. We gonna see though. Is it cool? If it's cool, I'm down to play it. But I mean, we gonna play all of them. See which one we vibe with the most.
there we started to think about and discuss, what's fun and what's interesting about playing as a mage from a player's perspective. And that is, of course, using magic, using your intellect to kind of suss out the enemy and its weaknesses and sort of piece the puzzles of the battle together as you go. Of course, just blasting magic is fun in itself, but we wanted there to be an extra layer to that, such as how you use your resources, the timing of your spells, using multiple spells in conjunction, and so we
Yeah.
started to design a system around that.
I think they said the Recluse class has like the most, it's like high skill ceiling, which whatever which one is the lady with like the short sword? She has like the double attack one, or she has like the double attack ability, which from what it sounded like is it stacked way too much. And then they said like the arrow dude or the archer, there you go, the archer has like a better loot passive. So like I feel like if you have those two, and then I don't know what the other cheesy RNG one is, that might just be like the best team. Which it's Elden Ring, so a lot of stuff is glitchy. Or not glitchy, a lot of stuff is like compound interest. So you find out whichever people just
new kind of concept of a mage,
build up
and how
better,
players would,
synergize
interact
better.
with that. So that's the kind of approach we took to the character design.
またもう一つの側面として、本作の
Another aspect of our approach to the class designs was how you engage with them in a multiplayer environment. So, of course, Nightreign is a 3-player co-op game at its core, and we wanted these skills and characters to be interesting both from a solo and multiplayer perspective. So one example of this could be the restage skill of the Duchess. Obviously, this is very powerful, a very powerful skill when you're playing in solo play.
Yeah, there you go.
But
That's what I was
If you're
saying.
going to take it to the next level and master
The
it,
Duchess.
a nice idea might be
That's the
to
class.
watch what your allies are doing, watch for when they're doing some big damage, and then restage their attack patterns and get some extra damage that way. So it really encourages this sort of...
Or as we've seen in the open test, do 3 Duchess, and then I'm a mathematician, but this is math I don't feel like doing. But what is that? 3 to the 3rd power, or possibly, I don't know. It's either 3 to the 3rd power or it's 3 times 3 times 3. It's one of those two. Y'all let me know which one it would be from a game design aspect.
thinking as a group and thinking in terms of co-op play.
But I just don't feel like sitting
This
here for the
is
next
really
5
the
minutes figuring it
first
out. But I could
FromSoft
figure it out.
Souls-like
Just know
with
that.
fully developed pre-made classes that each have their own unique skills and abilities. Does that have any effect, or does it raise any challenges with regards to how you design bosses or enemy encounters, knowing the powerful tools that a squad will be able to take
Exactly.
advantage
You got to give us
そう
some
ですね。まあ、本
overpowered
作のプレイヤー
bosses.
キャラクターは
In terms of each character's individual abilities and their ultimates and skills, we didn't want to have that kind of dictate how we approach the enemy design or encounter design, and vice versa as well. We didn't want the player action level to infringe too much on the enemy action level. We wanted to concentrate on these characters and making them feel unique and fun to play as in and of themselves first and foremost, rather than having these encounters and these boss battles sort of affect that negatively and impact the fun. One area we
Okay.
did concentrate on is the feeling of a role or responsibility within each character. You might have somebody who feels it's their duty to try and protect the others during a difficult boss fight, or try and
The
distract
aggro,
enemies,
yeah.
the ads during a certain
The
boss
ads.
fight.
Oh, so the game
Something
design.
like this
That was a lot of
was,
spit.
a feature
So the game designers also call all the small enemies in a boss fight and stuff ads. Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was like one of those self-created terms by like the community, or if it was one of the developer terms.
of the pre-made designs that we could include in Nightreign that maybe we didn't experiment with too much in previous titles.
ただですね、これは
Of course, another aspect is because this is a co-op game that focuses on having a three-person team, we did want to make the bosses feel particularly hardcore from that standpoint as well. So they will use very large-scale attacks. They will use certain abilities that will inhibit or restrict the player, or kind of put a sort of urgency to their moves, like the timer that's inflicted on them in the Gladius boss fight. Things like this, we really wanted to.
I think you're trying to make sure he didn't spoil
unique and
anything that they
imposing
didn't want
in
to
each their
spoil.
own way.
And then
Yeah.
you mentioned the Duchess ability and comboing that with a very strong ability that one of your allies will use.
My real question is, did they fix hitboxes, Elden Ring hitboxes? Because Elden Ring hitboxes are crazy, and I don't even mind. I feel like if they didn't fix them, it's not even a whole bunch of attacks they need to like change, for the simple fact that they hit you anyways. Like there will be a sword attack, and being hit by like either the hilt or like the shoulder would still consider like a hit. So it's like if the hitbox is just a big ass, and it's not like when I punch you, it's just my hands, and it's like my whole arm is the hitbox. Oh, this might be
Do you have
bad.
any
But from all the
other
gameplay,
favorite
it didn't look
ability
like that.
combos
So
or synergies from the available
they
character
might have
classes?
cooked.
そうですね、いくつか例を挙げますと、例えば
Character
Another
classes.
example I could give is the Raider character, whose ultimate he raises a giant tombstone
I like that.
from the earth. This in
That's what that is, a
itself does
tombstone.
damage to the enemies and bosses, but at the same
I feel like they
time,
said that,
both
but
the
I didn't
characters
hear
can
'em
clamber
enough.
atop it. So you could, for example, have the Iron
Magma
Man
worm.
character, raining down arrows from the safety of the tombstone, or reviving a character by shooting them with.
I
ranged
might need
attacks.
the bow.
Something
I might
like
need a
this. We
range
feel
pack. I
there's
feel like a
nice
lot of
breadth
bosses have
and synergy
that
that you can kind of
huge,
experiment with each of these characters.
like
お気に入りのコンボとして
Drip.
ですね、ネットワーク
A more general example is the Recluse, who you could also use in the network test.
Recluse,
Her
yeah.
ultimate art actually marks enemies, puts the sort of seal on them, which grants you HP and your teammates HP as you attack. So this used in conjunction with high
Oh,
damage
that was
output
fire.
and fast subsequent attacks from your
Gotta
teammates
love
could be
a
very
dark
effective at
skinned
healing the
wizard.
team, keeping them alive.
Oh,
Things like
that's what. It's a new manga. Well, yeah, it's new. It's like under a year, under 52 chapters. It's like it's like a witch manga, but like the main character is a wizard. Apparently, like the top witch in the it looks like Recluse, which, I mean, which one came first? But then again, like I don't know
It's like
how
this,
many
we
black
hope players will
witches
really have
do
fun
we
experimenting
really
and
have
playing around with
to
these
represent.
combinations.
So I don't know, but
Was
it's cool.
the Libra boss battle inspired by any specific characters or mythos?
ゲームデザインの要素としては、
Yeah, that is a
Well,
great question.
can't
What
speak
mythos
to
did it
any
come from?
Specific titles or names. One of the main inspirations for the League
Huh?
of battle was this sort of massively multiplayer raid battle sort of focus. So
Bruh, are we serious? Are we serious? Bro said we can't give you any explanation of where the inspiration was from this boss. You don't have to. You don't have to tell us what game. It ain't no mythos that. All right, bro. Elden Ring lore people, give me the
This
rundown.
idea of
I'm
having
ready.
A lot of players coming together.
'Cause
to
they-
fight this
they
boss battle
flaking.
together. This involves not only the kind of exciting and dangerous elements of that fight, but also the puzzle elements as well. Sort of figuring out the right time to attack, figuring out the time to retreat, figuring out the different elements to this boss fight. So we wanted it to feel like an intelligent boss design rather than just an all-in, every man for himself kind of appeal.
Personally, what Nightreign character is your favorite to play?
Yeah, I want to
and,
know what the
what
combat
is a
design
build
is
that
his
you
favorite
really hope
one.
Players will dig into and enjoy.
そうですね。まあ僕自身が好きな
A personal favorite of Miyazawa's is the Guardian.
The
alien
Guardian?
type,
Hawk Tour?
character with the shield. He favors a more defensy and tanky kind of build that this character archetype provides. He enjoys being able to both attack and defend at the same time, and provide
That is
kind
cool.
of bulwark and that area of safety for his team. And he feels like if players are not so keen on the fast dodge rolling and sort of, the nice perfect timing of the parries and things like that, this is a nice character for them to feel like they're really contributing to the team aspect and able
Hawk
to enjoy
Tour.
the battle. in
That's
that
what they
sense as
kept
well.
saying. I
の
mean,
上でですね。
it is just a
まあ
hawk,
このキャラクター
but
を
the game
使って
gives
し
you
ま
a
う
hawk,
と
so I guess it
ロ
would
ボ
be
スに
Hawk
なり
2,
たいな
which is the
Generally, we
Hawk
designed
Tour.
the game to be.
I'm sorry, I
for the players
apologize.
To be able to beat it as any character, so we wanted them to feel like.
Oh,
they
is
could
this the-
choose a
wait,
character they
was that
liked
the boss
to
where,
be
like-
able to beat it
Or do they have a myth? No, that's not the boss. There's like some boss with like.
as any character. So we wanted them to
Bugs.
feel like they could choose a character they liked, either from an ability standpoint or from.
I think that's a
an
regular dragon,
appearance or
flying dragon of the
backstory
hills.
Standpoint, and beat the game just in their own playstyle and with a character they enjoy. That said, balance is still important, and there's the team synergy we talked to, finding a good balance of, say,
Mhm.
a tank type character, a mage type character, and a damage deal type character. This is often important, as is the boss selection that you make as well. So sometimes a different Night Lord boss fight will encourage a different synergy or a different sort of group of roles, a different team composition. So we want
Well,
players to enjoy.
Wait,
figuring out
Royal
these
Kerrison
aspects
Knight. I thought that was
experimenting.
supposed to be. I forget her name, but she was like, she in like the castle with Melania.
with various characters.
Loretta.
and,
Loretta. There you
while
go.
we're doing
Ain't that supposed to be
fight,
Loretta?
some
Why
of
didn't they
the
give her a
previous
name though? That's
we
Loretta.
really wanted both the boss characters, these encounters, and the player characters themselves to feel unique.
That's
in
a
their own
auntie. That's a
way.
black
And we
auntie
wanted them
name.
to
I feel like.
unique enough that players can go back to the game.
Yeah,
and
look at him. Look at him. He going
approach with another
crazy.
character
Oh,
entirely. So
I
even
probably
if
would've
they've
got
beaten the boss with the Guardian,
cooked.
they might want to go back and try it as the Recluse and see what other tricks they can come up with.
Wait,
players
did he
also might
heal?
back and with another character entirely.
Okay,
even
he
if they've
did.
beaten
I'm
the
like,
boss with
what
the
the heck?
Guardian, they might want to go back and try it as the Recluse and see what other tricks they can come up with. Players also might enjoy doing a 3 Recluse team, so tripling up on a certain character and seeing what kind of crazy stunts they can come up with. So I'm really
Mhm.
looking forward to that aspect of the game.
Yes, I want to see like what happens when you get the hunter, the 3 hunters. Like, what does the loot pool even look like, or does that passive not stack? Because that might be busted. If that passive stacks, that might be like the easy mode team build. You just play 3 of those, and all you do is get like purples and legendaries from every chest. Or I don't know what the rarities look like. I know golden's normally highest, legendary, and purple's like second. So. But I'm ready, bro. We got what we got, like, yeah, we got like a week. Got about a week, 7-8 days. Yeah, 7-8 days until it's fine. Maybe 10 or 9. But y'all know how it go. We'll be there. We will be there launch day. How long will we be playing? I don't know, because I also believe Marvel Rivals Ultron comes out. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to bounce back between both of those. Might get longer streams. Who knows? We'll see how fun it is. It's probably fun. I joke with it. So you feel me? We be there.